Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Arakai TCG YouTube channel. We are once again wrapping up another exciting monthly league, this time the February 2022 league. Once again, I am Ty, that's that direction, this is Mike. Both wearing extremely amazing sunglasses, but I think Mike's are better than mine in all honesty, because his he makes him look like a drunk homeless Ozzy Osbourne, and I love it. So you know, I'm down. I'm cool with it, bro. But yeah, welcome back, Mike. How are you feeling, my man?
I'm feeling good. Just got back from work. It's been a good day.
Fantastic. In that case, let us get right into it. This league, we saw a few very predictable results, a few very interesting results, and a few results that I don't think anybody expected. So let's move right over into the meta review. We're gonna first look at that. Take a look at the top six. At the time of top six, meaning so before all the top six matches went down their way, we had Shomina in first place with Haven Tome, me in second place with Kaiza Nexus, Mike here in third place, congratulations buddy, with Shaman, Megamaster in fourth place with Ninja, Overlord Prom in fifth place with Poison Tooth, finally getting some representation, and Remote Cats in sixth place with Priest. And I've decided to do a little something different here. I've made a different kind of pie chart showing you every single deck that was represented. We have quite the spread here looking at the nation breakdown as well. Unfortunately, there are 0 Abyss decks that were brought to this event, which there's a lot of variables for that. But Mike, what do you think of this here pie chart? What do you think of this this spread?
Yeah, the spread is actually pretty diverse. We got at least the highest number is 4 with Maligned and Shaman. Though the surprising thing is, like, with all of the Maligned that was there, none of it actually made it into top 6.
The conversion rate for Maligned was pretty bad this time around. 3 Marauder decks and 1 Maligned Priest deck coming in. None of them were able to take it. We will talk, however, about a very, very funny game involving Marauder later in the video. No, we'll get there. But yeah, I mean, this spread here looks pretty good. It's as expected. Marauder is a very powerful deck. Of course, a lot of people are taking it. Nexus is pretty strong. We had 2 people taking it this time around. Priest, we had 2 people taking it, which was very interesting. One of them topped in Remote Cats, as you can see. And Tome also had 2 representatives. One of them actually winning the event, as we'll see in a little bit. We had Poison. We had 1 Poison Tooth, 1 Neto Might, 1 Oracle, 1 Ninja, 1 Giant Insect, 1 Shaman, and 1 Burnout. That's a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of stuff, but a lot of it was like only 1 person playing it, so that's pretty decent. I quite like that.
I will say every single one of these decks were good picks. I don't think there's anything on this chart that like was a bad pick to necessarily take. Poison Tooth Aggro was brought because we wanted it on the wheel because it would be funny. Nanomite Might was brought because it's a good deck. Oracle was brought because it has a lot of outs to Shingen, which is the boogeyman of the format right now. Ninja was brought due to new support. Giant Insect was brought because, you know, the person behind it can't play any other deck. Just kidding, Rack, and I love you. Wow. And Shaman was brought because Mike thought it would be funny. These are all very good picks. These are all very good picks.
I did think it'd be funny. One thing I want to find hilarious is this is the first tournament out of quite a few now where Giant Insect hasn't topped.
Oh yeah, no, it's they did not do too well this event. I think everyone's just kind of gearing for Shingen, and when you're prepared for a big explosive turn like Shingen, Giant Insect falls behind as well. It's just kind of the way things are.
Oh yeah.
Looking at the winners, however, we have, as I said, Shomina in first place, Mechnomancer in second place, me in third place, and Mike, my man, in fourth place. Congratulations, buddy. You deserve it. You worked hard for it.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, I mean, Shomina got first place with Sage of Exchange Turbo, a Tome variant that does not run any level 5s in the entire deck, which is an impressively it is extremely impressive how he built this deck. Ninja getting second because of how explosive it is. Nexus getting third because of how good it is, and Shaman getting fourth because funny Mooseman did funny Mooseman things. How did you get here, Mike?
So funny enough, the deck was originally built around Harmhar, but then I found actually Druzari was putting in most of the work.
Yep.
It was able to get the main thing is my deck, which we can talk about more so in a bit.
Yeah,
my deck works. The way the deck actually works is that it does a lot of stuff that's easily accessible. And I thought, I kind of went into the mentality of, hang on a minute, the Spirit could work as a second hand that is essentially free.
Yeah, it's Druzari is a pretty strong and powerful card. Now, speaking of your deck list, what do you say after? Well, first of all, congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations to our top cut. Congratulations to everybody playing. You all did a great job. But Mike, buddy,
Yes.
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's start it with you. Okay, so here we have the February 2022 Monthly League 4th placed build. This is Stampede of the Mooseman by Dark Wizard Mike here, and we can actually just ask you directly about some of your card choices here. You're playing a lot of 2-ofs, you're playing 3-ofs, you have your main consistency pieces. It's just a clean deck list overall. How did you come to this build eventually, and what is with the lack of a side deck?
The lack of a side deck, because I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. This deck was very unprepared. It was done very last minute. I was like, okay, I don't know what matchups I want to side for, and I don't really know how to side for this deck because everything that I want to do is in the main deck, and it's just kind of built to do the one thing very well.
Yep.
So I didn't have much of a side deck planned.
You had a pretty nice combo deck going here. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, no, this list is extremely consistent, very streamlined. Out of all the cards here, you got a lot of level 4 2-ofs, all I'm guessing to summon off of Druzari and or Hroomhar.
Yes.
Which of the level 4s do you think carried you the most or did the most work?
Let me take my glasses down so I can see them clearly.
Yep.
I'd probably have to say Rambor. Rambor was the one that did the work. With its high power in itself, well, Rambor and Sloth actually. Those were my go-tos quite often because Rambor, when it's invoked by the effects of a primal ally, it can pop a level 2, and Sloth gets Defender. And this just made things very difficult when I was already putting them in a really bad position with like a 9 face.
Yeah, no, it's putting out a lot of damage output every turn, and then you just kind of whip out a Sloth and call it a day. Like this is a pretty strong deck with really good utility. The lack of side deck didn't hurt you at all? You never needed a pulse field or anything?
I did, but the problem was, by the time I realized that I was lacking in combat tricks, it was a little bit too late to put them in.
That's fair enough. Well, congratulations, my friend. Well done. Now we're gonna brag about my list that I hate. I don't like this list. Is terrible. This is such a bad. How did I get this far with this list? This list is actual garbage. This is so bad.
It's Shingen.
No, Al-Horani is a bad card. It's so bad.
Why don't we talk about it? What's wrong with Al-Horani?
Okay, so basically the idea behind this deck was to set up an early game by using the Kaiza pieces, and then late game I float in and Nexus stuff. It worked, except Al-Horani was either the best card in my deck or the worst card in my deck. You see, Armor Dragon has an issue where every single one of their cards are great. The issue is, that means you don't want to discard any of them, and if you do, you risk drawing into actual bricks.
Yes, I found this problem with like Transylvania.
I've played Al-Horani, eventually started recording all my games. Al-Horani was in fact drawing me into less quality draws than I was discarding. It's a win more card, and so now that I'm looking back at this list, I think the first thing I'd do is I'd cut that and a card like Charge Leader, just to kind of like put actually good Armor Dragons in there. I did not float into the Nexus Bit as much as I should have. I did not go into Shingen as many times as I thought I would be going into Shingen, so I actually ended up siding him out for all of the Kaiza Dragon pieces and the Tempest of Flames / Drake Flames that you have in the sideboard.
Watching your games that I saw, you only went into Shingen like maybe once or twice.
Yeah, Shingen is like, listen, I told you, Shingen is extremely powerful. The instant people figure out how to play against him, though, he stops being as useful.
Yeah, I had that moment in my first round of Losers Bracket, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Shingen is a motherfucker. That's for sure.
Such a great game, though.
Such a base game.
So, you go first.
No, you go first. I was just filling the space.
Okay, talking about Shingen, I found that when playing against Shingen, the easiest and probably most efficient way to, like, actually play against Shingen and play around it is actually to get them to a point where they have to blow it all out early.
Yep.
So make sure you are in a position where you're above.
Whoop.
Where you're like, that's kind of.
There we go. You cut out for a little bit there. Can you repeat that? We're having some internet problems because I live on a college dorm.
Not a problem. So the thing with Shingen is that keep yourself above 10 life, preferably above 12, but above 10 is fine. As long as they can't kill you with Shingen, you will be fine, because they will blow most of their resources on that and then not really have a follow-up should you survive.
Yup. It is one of the many weaknesses imposed on this card. It is extremely powerful in a vacuum, though. Like, it's still a very powerful card, and I'm still gonna be playing it in my next Nexus build. But like, I think the Alharanis need to go. I think you cut the Spear of the Javelin of Cinders, because like upstarts are cool and all, but you only play that when you can't stuff your deck full of 50 really good cards, and I can do that. So.
And you probably have more consistency pieces in everything else that's archetypal anyway.
Yeah, like I want to put Corpseman to 3. That guy carried a lot of my games. Corpseman is an extremely good boy.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same about Drazari myself.
Corpseman, actually, if you have a Drill Sergeant in the Lost, he's a free card. Like, he's a free body every turn. He's pretty darn good.
I'm not entirely familiar with Corpseman. I haven't seen this one often.
Yeah, so Corpseman is a Armor Dragon that says when you invoke another Armor Dragon, you expend one, target a level 3 or lower Armor Dragon in your Lost, add it to your hand. So you basically summon him, summon another thing, add back the Drill Sergeant, play the Drill Sergeant, unexpend for the expend you used for Corpseman cost, and then when he gets taken off the field, you do the same thing next turn. So if he doesn't get outed, it's like a really, really nice resource engine.
Yeah.
Drill Sergeant is really the thing that's like carrying this deck. You gotta play as many copies of it as possible.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Speaking of carrying, I'm kidding. No, this deck's amazing. Let's take a look at Ninja here. So this is the second place Mechnomancer's Ninja list titled Yo. It is, wow. Just take a look. Look at this graph. Just look at this graph.
I think I faced Mechnomancer in, was it like the quarterfinal?
Something like that, yeah. I'd have to look at the tournament graph again.
Something. Yeah, the tournament graph, I need to look at for that. Like, honestly, this list is something else. Just when I thought I had it, he kind of came out of left field with like the Hanzo, which is really good.
Yeah, no, this deck's ability, like Hanzo is such a good card by himself. The Evo just makes him even stronger. I think actually out of the theme deck upgrades that a deck has gotten, Ninja's definitely the best one. Like, it is eating. It is eating, dude.
Absolutely. I want to talk about Smoke Bombing Shinobi.
Oh yeah, Smoke Bombing.
Smoke Bombing is really good. It's essentially a pulse field but for Ninja.
Pulse field 2 if you can manage to clear your own board.
Yes, if you can clear your own board.
Yeah, it's like I said, this deck is something else. Every single card from the theme deck is seeing play at least 2 copies in here. Like, dang, dude, holy crap! What a build.
The thing is, when playing against this deck, I had a lot of control over that game until the very end, where I just got Smoke Bombing to death.
Yeah, that card definitely puts a damper on a lot of things.
Mechnomancer, I think by the end of it, he had like 2 or 3 in hand, and was just able to shut down every single attack I did. And when you're playing a deck that's so aggro like Shaman, that can hurt.
Yeah, it's I love this deck. Like, there's so many I actually think like you could make a flow chart out of the combos you can do with this deck. Like,
of course.
Hanzo plus Arashi is pretty good. Hanzo plus Kido is interesting. It's neat. Hanzo plus Kirigakure Saizo with a Goemon on the board is insane. There's a lot of really, like, if you have a Hanzo in any ninja, there's probably like at least 2 combos you can pull off, 3 depending on if you have extra ninjas in hand. This is just a really clean, fun deck, honestly. I never felt bad losing against this. Like, it was like, oh, like, it definitely is an uphill battle if like you're a combo deck of any kind, because this deck will just cave you in, but it is such a fun matchup. It is really, really cool to see this go off.
Of course, naturally.
I love this deck so much, dude.
It's an amazing deck.
Congratulations to second place.
Yeah, congratulations second place.
But we have, as a matter of fact, a contender that defeated this.
Man of the hour.
First place list. Shulmana's Haven Wizard Journey of the Sorcerer list. Where do I even begin? This list is so cool.
Yeah, let's start with the lack of a level 5.
There are no level 5s in this entire deck. Like, it's clean as hell.
This is the kind of deck that I really enjoy seeing. One of like really, it plays about with what you can really do with this game.
Yeah. It's got it's just playing a lot of really good Haven cards, and then 3 Sage of Exchange to kind of do a combo we saw back in set 5 format, and he's bringing it back with all new cards. You can cast the Tome of Mirage, put the Mirage back in deck, set a new Tome, and then have the Mirage in deck for when you cast a new Mirage. That's like 4 tomes off of 1 card.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it is crazy. Sage of Exchange also allowing you to get access to cards like basically any tome in your deck. Actually, so what this does now that we have the theme deck, Sage of Exchange turns a Mirage into a tome on the board as well as a Library of the Forbidden search out of the deck, and that card is a jeez, man, house and a half.
When I was talking to Shomina about this deck, he said that, when we were talking about to him about it. He said that he built the deck around Sage of Exchange, and that's really interesting to see. Building your deck around a level 2 is very impressive and very creative.
I love this card so much, dude. This is such a cool deck. It's got such a free resource engine. A lot of the cards in the deck don't expend. Chronicles and Renewal basically being the same card means you can loop between the 2 effects. It's really something else. I think Hera and Raido still being really good boss monsters is awesome, and I may be a little biased in saying I hate Traveler of the Baron. She sucks. She's horrible. Go away. I hate her. I hate her so much. Hate her so much, dude. You have no idea, man.
I think my one thing, like my one regret about this tournament, is that I didn't get to play against this myself.
I mean, yeah, dude, it's like even the side deck, dude. Oh my god. One Regina confuses me though. I am very confused about the single Regina. The cool thing he's done here actually that I really like. He's playing 2 of the cards that he thinks are pretty okay in most matchups, but amazing in other matchups. He's playing them at 2 in the main deck, and then he's playing the 3rd copies in the side deck to just slap in depending on the matchup. That is so cool. Yeah.
Like we're looking at Perfect Defense and some of the others.
We got Instantaneous Recovery, Raido, Perfect Defense, and a single Regina. All in the sideboard there as cute little one-ofs that you can throw in. I love this deck so much.
That's actually really good. I thought about doing this kind of thing with like some of my upstarts, like putting just like having 2 in the main deck, 1 in the side, just in case I don't quite need them.
Yeah, that's not bad either actually, because they can end up being bricky sometimes. Sometimes, but not all the time. Smile.
Which is it's ironic. It's ironic that they can be bricky because they're upstarts. They literally draw you a card.
I know, right? Alright, hard ones for turns be like that. But yes, congratulations to Shomina and his win with this extremely interesting deck. So fun to see, so interesting to look at. And now let's move on to the part of the video where we get to talk fun things about cards that we didn't quite see much turnout. That didn't quite see much of a turnout. Let's start with the obvious elephant in the room, or should I say the Eldritch Abomination in the room, Anazelle.
Oh, the stories.
So first of all, this saw 3 representatives in the tournament. Not one of them topped. Could this be attributed to? I'm gonna say it's because Anazelle needs a level 6, needs to be on turn 6 in order to really go off, and Anazelle, the base form, being a bit of a costly card, but when this goes off and you can't out it, it's game over essentially. This is an auto win card if it survives for 1 turn.
Oh, pretty much.
As proven by Adagnister. Shoutouts to him. He and Secret Slayer had a very funny game. Game 1 was the only normal game on the planet.
Oh yeah.
There was the only normal game on the planet between there out of 3. So Adagnister lost game 1. That's whatever. That's fine. Okay. He's like, I'll go to game 2.
Happens.
Mans goes to game 2, summons 2 abominable Anazelle.
Yeah, I saw the board states like 2 abominable Anazelle, 2 at the level 6. How
does
someone manage that?
There is nothing on this card that says you can only have 1. The only reason that line of text isn't there is because I'm assuming nobody's gonna try it, but he did.
Yeah.
By the way, we're not fixing that. We're leaving that. That's funny. That's funny. We're leaving that.
That is funny.
It is fun. Listen, it comes up like once every 5 games. I'm cool with it.
Not even once every 5 games. It's like this is the first time it's come up since.
This is the first time it's ever come up. Yeah, I love this though. This is funny. This is where is it? This is funny. This is hilarious.
I mean, granted, it is only the 2nd league in set 9.
Yeah.
So
we could see more goods next week. We could see more goods.
We could. I think after the turnout this time with it, people might just be dropping Anazelle.
I think they should keep their hands on it, honestly. Anazelle has access to Phase Field, which in the current metagame is a turn ender. Like, it straight up can just end turns against decks like Ninja, Shingen. It's incredible.
Because I think Which Anazelle player was I up against losers round 2?
I think that was Terry, actually.
That was Terry, yes.
Yes.
And Facefield really messed with me a lot of the time because my deck is so heavy on beating them in the face.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It is like taking a steel chair and just beating them in the head with it until they fucking die.
Yeah, Face Field really is what I think helps this deck sort of survive the current metagame. Like I said, a well-timed Face Field can end the turn, and when the turn is ended, you can whip out an Anazelle and call it a day. Very, 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 very cool stuff. Another deck I wanted to talk about that we're gonna give shout-outs to my boy Flint over here. We all know the Flintus, the Sir Flintus himself. Yep.
Sir Flintus.
Let's talk about Oracle.
Oh yeah, because Oracle came back for the first time in a while.
Oracle came back for the first time in, I want to say, 5 sets.
5 sets.
It was meta in set 3. It saw on and off play since then. It saw no play circa set 7, as a pure deck at least, and now it's back as a actually pretty strong deck considering it's got a lot of their cards have effect protection, so they can't get destroyed by things like Shingen. They have a lot of good defensive cards in the form of, I forgot what their attack negate spell is, but it's very easy to set that up. And they have a very versatile toolbox of effects that one who sees all can access, because she basically copies any Oracle in your deck.
Yeah, I think I've played against Oracle once, not this league, but in general. I played against it like once or twice. I think one time was actually against Flintus, and another time was like back in set 5 against Remote Cats.
Yeah, Oracle now, with One Who Sees All having her new ability to copy Oracles in deck, mainly they'll go for something like Cassandra, but all of the other Oracles all the other level 4 or lower Oracles have some kind of interesting effect that could be applied to different matchups in the metagame. And I think Flint really took advantage of that, and this deck is, dang, I can't wait to see it do more things. This is just a really cool, clean list. It's got access to all the broken Astral cards that we know and love, so it's very, very, very cool.
I have to admit, Astral is actually one of the more interesting colors of this game.
Yeah,
like,
no,
genuinely.
It's also the only color that I really think has staples, you know?
I'd argue that maybe like Astral has...
That is Astral!
Haven has like...
Yeah, Haven's got a few cards going in there.
Haven's got a few. Like, you could argue Perfect Defense is a Haven staple. Because, like, literally, I can't think of a single deck that doesn't splash Haven that doesn't run it. Even Lilia.
Yeah. Talking again about, let's talk about Burnout for a little bit as well, actually. Burnout is a deck that, or as, you know, some Canadian child in our server calls it, suavemente. Suavemente crocodilo, for anyone who gets that. But I think Burnout, yikes, dude. We saw them do 6 damage on their opening turn in this tournament.
Yeah,
that's explosive. That's crazy.
That's very explosive.
It only really, like, wins the game if the opponent bricked, because obviously you have to commit a lot of resources to it, but dang, it's possible.
Oh, yeah. It's a deck that wins the game if the opponent can't or just doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah, no, it is very much one of the only decks I think that, like, really... The longer the game goes on, the more of a favorable position it is against any deck in the meta, really. Because life points really, really matter against Burnout. It's similar to other aggro matchups, except this deck can go for the long game.
Oh yeah, of course, because other ways that it can handle certain like counters to it. It's not that it. I think it's with Burnout they can't attack.
Yep, Burnout is they can't attack. Yeah,
which means they aren't being restrained very often.
Yep.
So it prevents the opponent from doing a lot of face gaming, especially very early on, where they're still doing a crap ton of damage.
Yep. Now, speaking of fun decks that have counters to a lot of things, Poison Tooth. We gotta give it a shout out now.
Yes,
we gotta shout it out now. We gotta shout it out now.
Top 6, my dude.
Top 6. We did it. Now the deck can be retired and never seen again. I kid you not. Diana was like, as soon as I get a top with this, I'm done.
Yeah, that's right. Because we're talking about it like in our league.
She just wanted to do it for the meme.
Yeah, and then I think we got into like game 2, and then she was just saying to me how she was bored of Poison Tooth now.
Yeah, Poison Tooth is a deck that like it. Unfortunately, it's a deck that like we saw. It was very fun to play in the last league, but eventually Dyna started streamlining it and making it a little more consistent, a little more powerful. It did kind of just end up resorting to Drazari Turbo, which when it's not as varied as a core Shaman list, is not as interesting. No. But I still think Poison Tooth is a very interesting card that have build a deck like that around, and we are glad it finally got its top. We are glad it finally got its top.
What I love about it is that, like, Poison Tooth aggro and Stampede of the Moose Man are pretty much the same kind of deck. Yep,
they both run the Blind Man.
They both run the Blind Man.
Yep, they both run the funny Blind Man. Let's talk a little bit about Giant Insect, actually, a little quickly here.
Giant Insect.
Yeah, if I can get the image up on the screen.
The one primal deck I cannot actually get into.
Yep. This deck is, I think its time has come. For now.
Yeah, for now. It may come back later.
It is coming back later. Here, I'm giving you... Hello, I am giving you a cryptic message from this YouTube video. Set 12, the game is going to end, and Giant Insect will reign supreme and destroy all who challenge it.
Oh, God.
You are not prepared. You are never going to be prepared.
I'm prepared.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Giant Insect didn't have a good showing, though, because, again, everyone's running a face field, post field, things to stop Shingen, etc., etc., and those cards are very much counters to Giant Insect. They get the one explosive kill turn. They try it again next turn, but it's not as strong because they had to kind of burn a lot of resources to get it to go off.
Yeah.
It's a deck that needs no hand, so...
Yeah. It's like, again, with the whole Shingen thing, and I think most decks that are like Shingen are like this. They commit a lot of resources to their one big explosive turn, but lack of follow-up.
Yep. Stinger very much falls into that same pattern. And, that's probably fine. We'll see where they go when we get to set 12.
Where they go. Yes.
The last card, a deck I think we should give a little shout-out to is, let's talk about Neto Might for a little bit. I never actually got to play against Neto Might a single time during this league.
Neither did I, and I'm kind of glad for it.
Why is that?
Because I still find Neto Might kind of intimidating. My deck...
Oh, yeah, fair.
Especially when my deck was very, very unprepared for League in general. It's just that I knew after, like, my first match, I knew what the deck wanted to do. And that's how I managed to, like, blitz through losers bracket.
Yeah, Neto Might has, as we've learned in the last, basically the last month, we've learned that it has tools for basically everything. All their level 1s are extremely recurable. They have a lot of really unique effects. Their downsides are still there, but they can have an answer to basically anything if they get the right hand, get the right setup, etc., etc. It is still very powerful. Theseus is still a very good card, and best of luck to BB next time he tries to pull this off. Speaking of BB, though, I'm surprised we did not see more copies of Lilia dropped this time around.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Lilia was only really played, unless I'm mistaken, I believe Lilia was only really played in BB's, not even in BB's deck. I think it was just played in Flint's Oracle deck, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Which is surprising, because Lilia is one of those cards / decks that gets a whole lot of hype.
Yep. She might as well be she's basically the mascot of the server right now.
Might as well. Oh, hey. Yeah. Nexus who?
Nexus who? Who's Nexus? We only have Lilia.
Just Lilia.
Yeah, and now to wrap it all up, I think we should discuss the elephant in the room, which we said we would discuss it. The lack of Abyss in any capacity.
The lack of Abyss. Okay, so
complete lack of Abyss.
I can actually kind of weigh in on this one as an Abyss player in the last league and as an Abyss player in general, particularly Vampire. After a while, like, a lot of talk is that a lot of the Abyss decks are the same. They all work in a very similar, if not the same way, and they all have very similar or the same play styles. Some examples are things like Vampire and Chimera, both working on auras around discarding and drawing, and cards that work when discarded. So this makes... So, a summary of it is, I guess a lot of people kind of just got bored of the color.
There's that. There's also the fact that like we had the people who were playing Abyss last league wanted to try some new things out. People jumping on the Anazelle hype train.
Yeah.
I think Chimera, Undead, Vampire, and Horror are all varied enough where like they can do different things and have different builds. Hell, last league we saw that Chimera build in first place, and it doggy.
Doggy. I think we had two variants of Vampire last league as well. One being, we could call it, would it be like, it's like a smokescreen vampire
Smokescreen
deck.
Vampires?
Yeah, smokescreen vampires.
Fog vampires.
And Vainglory Turbo.
Yep. I think the lack of Abyss is quite literally just because people wanted to try other things. It comes down to, I think the Abyss color, except for Blast Bones, is solved.
Yeah.
Blast Bones is the only deck that people still have not solved yet, and they're working on it.
Yeah, they're looking to. I think some people are thinking of bringing it in the next league actually, so that should be fun.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
And it's our job to convince them to.
Yeah, really. No, the Blast Bone stuff looks really cool, and people are like, it's reached point with like, whoa, I found it, I broke it, and then they're testing, and they're like, but we need to get it to go off.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I think we'll see some Blast Bones next league, and if we don't, it's whatever. People haven't figured it out yet, but they'll break it. They're breaking it.
We'll see it eventually.
We'll get there.
It exists. It'll come eventually.
Yep. But yeah, this league, we have some very interesting takeaways from this league. That there are other decks that can do similar things to what Shingen can do. If your deck can handle them, you're fine. And Oracle is once again seeing play again, as well as Ninjas being a lot better than people initially expected. A lot of very interesting takeaways from this league, but the meta remains not unchanged, but very much in the same realm of playable decks. We're gonna have one more league in February. And after, in March. With this, wow, next month is March. We're gonna have one more league for set 9 in March, and then we're moving on to set 10, where a lot of exciting and interesting things are coming along.
Oh, you can count on it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, next time I see you guys, we'll either be recording a video for gameplay, or we'll be talking about the March league changes and possible. And since set 10 will be out at that time, I plan on releasing it in the middle of March. We will have a lot of things to talk about. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you once again, Mike. Congratulations on 4th place, my friend. You very much deserve it. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do the holy trinity of YouTube on this, help push those numbers, and comment in terms of specifically comments down below. If you want to play the game, ask that, or if you already play the game, ask any questions you have about the meta or possible strats down below. We would love to help you, and we would love to answer those questions. But until next time, I'm Ty, this is Mike, and we will see you guys in the next league. See ya!